guys, so I'm excited today to start talking about one of my favorite treatments that we do here at Aesthetica, which is called MiraDry. MiraDry is a treatment that we do in someone's underarm to prevent excessive sweating and odor. It's a treatment that I've personally had because I wanted a reduction in odor in my underarms. Who doesn't? But it also helps to treat people who are generally sweat bothered, and then also the fancy diagnosis of something called hyperhidrosis, which is just an excess of sweat glands in the underarms that kind of gush water for no reason. If you have this, you know what I'm talking about. Technical term meaning really sweaty armpits. A lot of times people do get a little sweaty when they get nervous, that sort of thing, but hyperhidrosis is something that can sometimes happen no matter what. Some people have it on their hands and their feet. This is a treatment for the underarms in particular. Unfortunately, you can't treat your hands and feet yet, but it's amazing and it's a game changer and a life changer for a lot of people who have hyperhidrosis in their underarms. A question that I get a lot of times is, don't you have to sweat? And you do, and you're gonna sweat out of every other pore in your body, still the same way that it was before. We're just deactivating about 2% of your sweat glands when we hit the underarm area. This is an area though that has an excess of odor glands, and because of that crease there, you notice that it builds up the sweat, and sometimes those glands are just excessive, so we shut them down. Have you ever been halfway through your workday and you're like, oh my God, wait a minute, like I didn't put on deodorant. The technology behind it is actually a microwave, and it sucks it up into this handpiece and it microwaves the tissue to a point where those glands get so affected that they die. Once it's dead and it's not performing the way that it's supposed to, our body has a way of just getting rid of it, sweeping those cells away, never to return again. So this treatment is permanent. Some people have heard of Botox in the underarms. That is not a permanent treatment. That is something that causes a lot of little injections because you're trying to just spread the Botox all around the underarm. So I'm going to take you along with me on a MiraDry journey, and we're going to do a treatment on somebody. And the treatment's really no sweat. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how we get set up this morning using our tumescent fluid, and how we get everything all prepped and ready to go for your MiraDry treatment. We take a 250 ml bag of normal saline, which is just like a regular, you guys would think of this as like an IV bag. But what we do is we take the numbing agent and we put it in there, okay? So as we put all this fluid in you, you actually get completely numbed. So you really don't feel any of that at all. So I love this newest numbing technique because it helps to increase the efficacy of the treatment, but it also decreases some of the adversities that can happen with the treatment. Depending on how much research you've done, you may notice that people numb differently, but with this approach, by lifting the tissue into the handpiece, you're taking it off of something called your brachial plexus, which is the nerves in your underarm. So things like numbness, tingling down the arms is significantly decreased. This cool little thing here is a multi-pronged needle. So by injecting you with this, it tricks your brain into thinking you're only being poked once, when really we're poking you with all these little guys. But it makes your brain think that you've only been poked like 6 times. It's amazing. The handpiece here is also what clicks onto the end of the machine. It is sterile and it's per patient, but this is where some of the magic happens. That is the microwave technology that is going to actually do the treatment, but that's part of the reason the procedure is a little bit more expensive. So what we do is we clean the underarm, we put on our stencil, and this shows us our treatment zone. So we'll measure it, we'll make sure that it's right for the patient, and then the injections happen. So as I inject here, you can see that it's that multi-pronged needle that tricks the brain into thinking that you're only being poked once. And we're putting in that fluid. You can see it starting to puff up a little bit, but that's what helps to raise up those sweat glands into the handpiece and off of the underlying structures of your arm. We apply a little bit of topical lubricant, and then the treatment begins. There's no discomfort for the patient at this point because you're completely numb, but we just follow little tick mark by tick mark, and we begin to treat the area. This part gets a little bit boring. We just chat for like an hour. If you see on the handpiece there's a number countdown, this video is sped up 20 times faster than the actual treatment itself. This part of the treatment is extremely easy for us because we just follow the pattern. So that's it. That's MiraDry. It's pretty amazing, huh? So it deactivates those sweat glands, your body gets rid of it, no more sweat, no sweat. Patients who truly have hyperhidrosis oftentimes want 2 treatments. People who are just generally sweat bothered are normally happy with just 1. You can change your wardrobe, #wardrobe goals. There have been some scientific studies that have come out that talk about the increase of aluminum in people's bodies with certain disease processes like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and certain types of cancer. Aluminum, a lot of people may not understand, is actually the active ingredient in antiperspirant. There's a difference between antiperspirant and deodorant. Deodorant makes you smell good. Antiperspirant makes you not sweat. And there are different strengths of antiperspirant. People say, oh, I use the clinical stuff and it's the highest strength and and you're increasing your aluminum every time you do that. And it's something that you apply to your body every single day. That high levels of it in people's body can actually be linked with certain disease processes. That gives this nurse a little red flag. I doubt the FDA would ever come out and say, oh, by the way, antiperspirant's not good for you. I know we've told you it has been for the last 40 years, but we were wrong. So that's something that I think that may fly under the radar and not be fully explained to the general population. Conspiracy theory. Again, that's just my nursing opinion, nobody else's. But if you didn't have to apply a heavy metal to your body every day, let's do that. If you like this video, if you have any questions, please go below, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit the ding, do all the things that help to keep you up to date with my videos, because I'm hopefully going to be posting like once or twice a week, if I can get enough videos made. But let me know what you want to learn about, because I will keep going as long as you guys keep interacting with me and we can keep this going. Let's keeping on, because I don't sweat anymore, so I can do it all.